Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we're gonna do the 2025 Arnold Classic prediction. That's right, at 5 days out of the Arnold Classic, I think I got enough material to make a proper prediction. We'll see how right will I be, but let's do this just for fun. Before we actually start, guys, I just want to tell you about the new drop from Hostile, the winter drop. You can take a look at it on the website, the link is down below in the description of this video. If you guys like something and you want to buy it, just make sure you use the code EVAN10 for a 10% discount, and that's also how you can support this channel and help me out. Now, let's start with the video, let's start with the prediction. So, we have the list. 12 guys, now that John De La Rosa is out, unfortunately. The last guy on the list is the guy that won the amateur part last year, so we'll just say that he's gonna place last, which is most likely going to be the case. Now, let's take a look at the top 11. In 11 spots, I'll have Patrick Moore. There isn't a lot of content from Patrick other than that fight video at the parking lot, which he did a great job with, but as far as bodybuilding, he didn't post a lot of physique updates, and, based on his last prep, when we all thought he was gonna do really well, and he finally came in really conditioned again, with solid size, he still placed very low. I can't remember exactly which show it was, but he was like 9th, 10th, something like that. And in this lineup at the Arnold Classic, even if I wanted to see him place higher because of his shape, because of his aesthetics, and because of the way he looked in 2019 when he placed 10th at the Mr. Olympia, it's not gonna happen. Based on the judging, the judges want to see more muscle, and compared to these big boys right here, he is simply going to look like a classic guy, so I don't think he's gonna place very well. Unfortunately for him, I have Justin Rodriguez placing 10th. Now, I think Justin Rodriguez should retire. I think he was so much better before, and I don't even know why I'm giving him this victory over Patrick Moore, but it's simply because of his size. He's still a big guy. He's over 300 pounds in the off-season. He's going to be like 260, over 260 probably on stage. So he's a mass monster with horrible aesthetics, especially at this point in his career. Everything is just off with his body. Like, his body is definitely ready to be retired, but Patrick Moore is simply too small. So I do have Justin over Patrick. Now, in 9th spot, and this might sound a little bit controversial because a lot of people have this guy winning the Arnold Classic. I personally, unfortunately, can't see that happening, and I don't have him higher than 9th, and that is Carlos Thomas Jr. Why? Why do I have him so low? Well, because we haven't seen anything from him until he was like 3 weeks out. And the last time he competed with Patrick, at like 1 week out of the show, he decided to change a coach. And he wasn't in great condition at the Texas Pro or at the MPC Nationals, where he won the overall and earned his pro card. So conditioning is something we haven't seen yet from Carlos Thomas Jr. And again, since 3 weeks out, we haven't seen anything from him, so I have no idea whether he's in crazy condition right now, or he's just off, or he's out of the show, or who knows what's happening. So I can't really make a prediction and put him in like 3rd or 5th if I have no idea what he looks like, and his track record kind of showed that he doesn't know how to bring good condition. I don't know if he switched coaches again or something like that, so he's definitely a wild card. He can definitely place higher if things go well for him, but I'm betting on him not being 100%. That's why I'll play it safe this time around, and I'll have Carlos Thomas Jr. in 9th. And then in 8th, I'll actually have Sean Clarida. Now, yeah, Carlos is a lot bigger than Sean, but Sean is really big for his frame. He has a back, he has a crazy back. When he is on, that back is just insane. And he's not that much shorter than Carlos Thomas Jr. Like, when Sean Clarida stands next to Samson, that's gonna be funny. But next to Carlos, the difference is not gonna be that big. So I think Sean Clarida is more consistent with conditioning. He's going to be shredded for sure. He's going to be more complete, with the back. I just don't know if Sean is gonna have good legs. That's something he was lacking for the Mr. Olympia and for the Prague Pro. So that's why I don't have him higher than 8. But considering his size and everything, I think this is a good spot for him in this lineup. Now, in 7th, I'll have William Bonek. Yeah, I'll have Bonek over Sean and Carlos Thomas Jr. I think Bonek is, like, overall the most polished out of 3, the most complete. He has a good back, good conditioning from the front, from the back. Yeah, he's down in size compared to his best days. He won't have the same fullness and size. I think his fullness and size might be better a little bit this year than before, but still it's not gonna be like the way he used to be back in 2019 when he was super blasting full. Still, I think with his completeness and his overall polish, I think 7th is a reasonable spot for William Bonac. Ahead of William Bonac in 6th, I'll actually have Akim Williams. That's right, I'll have Akim beating both William Bonac and Sean Clarida, and of course Carlos Thomas Jr., simply because I think Akim is an absolute mass monster, and he has so many great poses, guys. Front double, front lat, side chest, side tricep. Yes, I know, his back double bicep is horrible. I honestly just want to ask this guy, what is happening with that back? Why does it look so bad? I mean, in the back double bicep, in the back lat spread, it's not bad at all, to be honest. And like his lower body is also really good. He has some thick glutes, thick legs from behind, good conditioning in the glutes and hamstrings. So, overall, he has the weight in the shoulders. So like his back lat spread, very good, pretty good. Back double, horrible, but that's only one pose, guys. If he had that pose nailed, I would have him probably in my top 3. Honestly. But because of that, I'll have him in 6th, beating Bonac, Clarida, Carlos Thomas Jr., but not beating James Hollinshead. Yep, I have James in my 5th. Now, this one is very, very tricky. I think Akim beat James at the Arnold Classic UK and Arnold Classic Ohio, I think, or they switched places, I'm not sure, but they're very, very close. And the thing is, I don't think James was on the last time he competed. He started his prep with Milos Sarce, and then he prepped himself, and then Jordan Peterson was prepping him, and then Brent Warren was prepping him, and then his wife was prepping him. If you guys remember that prep, that was a mess. And James Hollinshead is probably the biggest mental case out of these. I'm not saying this to offend him. He knows what I mean. Like, he is not very stable, emotionally stable when he's prepping. A lot of guys are like that. I go crazy when I'm prepping as well. It's very difficult to be stable emotionally and mentally, and some guys are able to be like that, some are not, and James is definitely not one of those guys. But why I have him placing so high, even though I think he was 5th. He actually was exactly 5th last year, but the lineup was weaker. This time we have a much deeper lineup. I do have him in 5th because I think this year it's probably going to be the best we ever saw from James, because he's working with Stefan Kinzel. I think Stefan put him in a right spot mentally, and also I think he's doing a really good job with his nutrition and everything. I think he's gonna nail the conditioning, nail the peak, and be, emotionally stable and ready. And I think this is going to be the best James we ever saw, and that's why in this lineup I have him in 5th. Now, as far as 4th, if I was very generous, I could have given James even 4th spot. But this one, so far I kind of tried to play it very safe, but this one is going to be a little bit of a leap, because I still believe Brandon Curry can bring it back. And I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion. A lot of people feel like Brandon is done, but I personally don't see that really. I noticed a couple of things that are wrong with his physique, but I think he can still bring back the freshness, the fullness, the size, the conditioning. I mean, yeah, he is on his way out. He's 42, but guys, 42. I mean, Sean Roden won the Mr. Olympia at 43, so why couldn't Brandon Curry do not the same thing, but similar thing? We have Dexter Jackson, who was in the top 5 at the Mr. Olympia, or even top 3 until he was 50. There are many examples, and to me, at least, Brandon Curry seems still very fresh, very young. I think if he nails the peak, if he actually brings back some of that fullness, and he was really good at the Mr. Olympia. So last year before the Mr. Olympia, he had a long off season. He wasn't training, he wasn't eating, he lost a lot of size. He tried to bring it back in 10 weeks, and he did a good job, but that wasn't enough time. Now that he already did a Mr. Olympia prep and just continued to the Arnold Classic, I really think Brandon Curry is going to be really freaking good this year. That's the way I see it, guys. I might be wrong, but I have him in 4th. Now we come to the top 3, and this is when it becomes kind of tricky. We have Samson Dauda, the reigning Mr. Olympia, Derek Lunsford, the former Mr. Olympia, and let's say the rising star, Andrew Jacked. Now, a lot of people actually, from what I'm hearing and seeing, a lot of people kind of think that Andrew is going to surpass Derek at this year's Arnold Classic. But I don't feel that way. I think Andrew is going to be top 3 the way he was in 2023. I don't see how can he beat guys like Derek Lunsford and Samson Dauda. An argument out there is that if Samson wins, then they're going to go with those kind of physiques and they're going to place Andrew second and then Derek third. But remember 2023 when actually Andrew was at the same show and Nick Walker was there and he placed second and Andrew was third. So that has nothing to do with it. Like, that's not a good logic. The only way Andrew can beat Derek is if he nails the conditioning in the lower body from behind and if he gains, in some miraculous way, a lot of thickness in the side poses, which I don't think is going to happen in 12 weeks between the Mr. Olympia and the Arnold Classic. If he nails the conditioning, great, that's going to be a help, but can he stand next to Derek in those side shots? No. He can beat other guys. He can beat a lot of other guys who are thicker than him in the side poses, but not Derek, man. Come on. This is the former Mr. Olympia we're talking about. The guy just shocked the world 2 years ago, and if he brings the conditioning, I don't know what he's gonna bring, though. Derek has a new coach, the same coach that has been coaching Andrew Jack for a while, so I don't know if Derek is gonna be on, but even if he is slightly off, you know, I still see him beating Andrew. I don't see Andrew placing second. If I wanted to make this video more fun, I could have put him in second or even first, but I'm trying to be realistic to say it the way I think it's actually going to play out. And in my opinion, Andrew is going to be third. And then, as far as the winner and the second spot, I think you guys can get a pretty good idea because I already compared Andrew to Derek and not to Samson. Yeah, you're right. Second spot is going to be Derek Lunsford, and the winner of the Arnold Classic as well of the last year's Mr. Olympia is, in my opinion, going to be Samson Dauda. And I think that's pretty reasonable. How can you bet against the reigning Mr. Olympia? Somebody who is like so much better than everybody else pretty much in today's modern bodybuilding, if he is in condition. That was the only thing that was holding him back in the last couple of years. But now he kind of hasn't figured out, so if he brings it again, if he is, again, the way he was the Mr. Olympia, let's say 85% conditioning, he wasn't 100% on the Mr. Olympia. Let's not kid ourselves. Like Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath, Jay Cutler 2009, Sean Roden 2018, those guys have been 100% on with conditioning. Samson has not been, but because of his size and completeness and the overall wow factor, the aesthetics, the shape, the freak factor, whatever, all the things, like because of like the way he is, if he is at least like 85% conditioned, he will still win this show or any other show in the world right now, and I think it's very likely for that to be the case. So yeah, I think I'm sure Samson, I'm pretty sure Samson is going to win the Arnold Classic, and I think Derek is going to beat that second spot, and that's the way I see it, guys. We'll see how right will I be. Please hold me accountable. Go back to this video after the Arnold Classic and let's see how wrong was I about some guys or how right I was. Whatever you guys think, tell me down below. If you disagree with placing Carlos 9th or Brandon Curry in that 4th or not having Andrew in the top 2 or winning the Arnold Classic, whatever you guys think, tell me in the comment section down below. Give me your top 10 down below in the comments. Let's see what do you guys think. Let's talk about this. And if you guys enjoyed this video, just give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And again, guys, if you want to support me, you want to help this channel grow, and you want to help me keep making this awesome content for you guys, just buy something from the Hostile Supplements and use the code EVEN10 for a 10% discount as well. Thank you guys once again so much for watching. See you soon. All the best and bye-bye.